What's good on you guys? It's the FPL Penguin back again with another stream for you all. Hope you're doing good. And in today's stream, we'll be talking about all things FPL once again. But I'm not alone as we look ahead to double game week 31 and the final run-in for this rest of this crucial season in FPL. I'm also joined by, we'll go through it first in order. Making his debut on the show is John, FPLLAD. How you doing, mate?
How you doing, mate? You good?
I'm good, mate. We've also got as well Ben and Josh once again from the FPL Graduates. How you doing, lads?
All good, mate. Thanks for having us on.
No worries. And we've also got Glen as well from Everton Football, huge Arsenal fan as well. How you doing, Glen?
I'm good. Thank you for having me again.
And also making their debuts on here as well are Jordan and Huss from the FPL Duo. You can find them on Up and Rising YouTube channel. Do check them out as well. But yeah, how you doing, lads? How's everyone doing?
Yeah, we're good, thank you.
Yeah, very well. Thanks for having us on.
No worries. But yeah, the international break is gone. It's gone, finally gone. We don't have to keep watching England over and over and over again. But we're back to talk about all things FPL. And yeah, we're going to be talking about our teams for Double Gaming 31, strategies, what chips we have left, what are our plans, or how we've been so far this season. And what we're going to be doing for the final run-in as well. So I'm not going to go on too much about my team or my season, but I'm at 21k at the moment. I had a bit of a dip last week because I only could field about 5 players last game week. So I had a tiny red arrow. So I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I am extremely happy of how my season's going so far this season. 21k, this is my best ever season. Last season, I finished 1.7 million. I know it really hurts. Feel free to laugh. But 21k this season, massive improvement. So I'm really over the moon about that, and taking less and less hits it's been a big bonus, big thing this season for me, not taking many hits. But talk about this game week, I have taken kind of the biggest hits. It's my first -8, should we say, of the season. Show you my bench as well. And the players I brought in, I'll get the lads' thoughts as well. Throw a few questions out there for me as well. We've also got feels like who wants to be a millionaire then? Who wants to make us find a friend? But yeah, we also got brought in James, we brought in Havertz, and I brought in Ben Rama for -8. And the players I've taken out are Trent. I tried to on the spot here now, trying to think if I've taken out Trent. I'm going to have a cheeky look now because, you know, when you're on the spot, you can't remember who you brought in. So Kulu, Odegaard, and Trent I've taken out for a -8, my first -8 this season. So yeah, I'm going to think about captaining Havertz. The reason I've taken Trent out, you know, Jurgen's come out with the news that he was looking like he was coming back for the Man City game. But then today he's saying he's looking positive. He's looking really, really good in training. He's slowly getting there. There were hopes maybe for the Watford game, but it sounds like now Klopp has said it's not going to look like it's going to happen. He's going to not play against Watford. So I think it's the best way to go about it, resting him, you know, because we've got the City game, you know, in game week 32, is it? So that's a crucial game. So we want him 100% for that. So I took him out and I brought in James, and I've also got Havertz in there too. 2 big players for Chelsea. We know Chelsea have got a single game week, which is a shame. So I've got Brentford, Southampton, Arsenal, West Ham, and Everton all in there. And I kind of want to take a punt on that by, you know, because we can see with the numbers here, you know, I know he's got 0, but 7, 26. We know what Havertz can do. I know what James can do because I did captain him in that game week. What he got was it against Burnley, and he missed out. It was a double game week for Chelsea, and he didn't play through injury in that second fixture in that game week. But yeah, something that we can talk about later on. Big at the back, you know, in defence, because that's something I want to talk about as well. Big at the back. But yeah, Ben Rama as well. The reason I brought him in, you know, Bowen, I believe is still out injured. God knows when he's back. But his next 3 fixtures I really do like: Everton, Brentford, Burnley. I want to take a punt on it. I know it's a -8 I've taken with those 3 transfers, but I kind of want to take a punt. Everton just look atrocious. Brentford, he has shown, I think he has by scoring against his old club in the past. And Burnley aren't great in defence. And I think I think he's out injured again or something. I need to do a bit more research on that. But three teams for Ben Rama to have, to have him as an asset and to target those teams. So, yeah, that's the sort of team. The bench-wise, De Gea, Maddison, Jimenez, and Dennis. We're still waiting on news with Ramsdale. I think you play Monday night, Glenn. I think, but if he doesn't play in that, I've got De Gea in there. We'll probably ship in about 3 goals to bloody Leicester. Maddison will probably get a bloody haul in that game, and I'll probably cry. But yeah, lads, that's my team. I don't want to go on too much about it, but what's your thoughts? We'll start with FPLLAD. We'll go down. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. Ben Rama's a bit of a mental one, I think. Everyone's thinking the same, but I suppose without Bowen, I guess he's nailed. I think taking the hit for him's a bit much, but mate, you're 21k, so it's working out all right.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, Mo play up front's absolutely awful as well, but
I know.
I'm a Palace fan, so what can you do?
But there's not many great forward options for that price, is there?
No,
that's the thing. It's all about the midfield. It's always about the midfield every season. For the last few seasons, it's always about the midfield. You got your Sakas and stuff, and but yeah. And anyone got any more questions for my team? Just jump in, anybody.
Havertz captaincy pick, man.
What do you
yeah.
Just, I don't know. I think, Salah, Watford at home, it's like a no-brainer. I feel like almost everyone and Nan's dog's going to go pick Salah. So it's brave to go against him. But yeah, I think Havertz is one of those players, FPL-wise, isn't going to get you a lot of points. Like, compared to Salah, he's just an absolute unreal scorer. Obviously, a lot of them have been penalties recently, but that's half the reason you own him. So I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are on the captaincy there.
Anybody can jump in.
Yeah, I think Salah is. I think for me, it's a no-brainer this week against Watford. He should play. He's back from the disappointment he had the other day when he got knocked out the World Cup qualifiers. But yeah, I think Salah for me against Watford, he can easily get a haul there. So yeah, I think Salah is the way for me this week. What about you guys?
What I often think about is that Havertz gate from I can't remember when it was, and I'm looking at it, and yes, going forwards in the sort of medium term towards the end of the season, I think he's a good pick. But there are 31 midfielders on the game that have more FPL points than him this season. Which I only remember that because someone commented that Havertz has been an underrated FPL asset this season, and I looked into it and went, he hasn't actually got too many returns other than sort of a couple of hauls here or there. I see what you're doing with it. I like the move, but I'm just like...
It's bold. It's very bold, isn't it?
It's a bold one, yeah.
Yeah, I did initially have it on Salah. And obviously with the ownership, and his EO is going to be through the roof as always. It is a tough one. Maybe I just want to be so bold. But there is one thing being bold, but then being stupid about it, like being crazy, because we know what Mo can do. But I think because I'm enjoying the season, I'm not points chasing. I'm not like where last season 1.7 bloody million or like 500k or something. And it's not like I'm points chasing. And obviously, if your captain Salah is here, you're not going to make much move in the overall rankings, obviously. If you captain him.
I just add to that, Calvin. I also actually think Lukaku didn't play any international games. He was on holiday in USA, enjoying himself. Havertz played both games for Germany, especially against Netherlands the other day. And they have Real Madrid, I think 3 days after this. I have a 50% feeling that Havertz could be benched and come on and Lukaku starts this one, so that Havertz starts in the Champions League. So I think captaining him is a bit of a risk, especially if he comes on the 70th minute or something.
It is a tough one because there is probably rotation because obviously with Champions League as well. Yeah, I think probably I've lost the plot going for -8, but I want to have some fun with it and see what happens. Planning ahead, I'll just quickly add before we'll probably move to either Ben or Josh. But with I'm probably looking to get rid of Coutinho soon. We know he's blanking in 33. So I probably will moving on soon. I'm looking at players maybe like Fraser from Newcastle. He's doing very, very well. I know he has Spurs next, and he's got probably Wolves, and he is playing a double in 33. So he's a nice little gem to go for. But Havertz, yeah, I know what you mean with minutes and stuff. That's the only fear, especially with James too. So I'm going to just YOLO it. I mean, I feel like I've got nothing to lose. I feel like I'm not there like points chasing or anything like that. I just feel like I'm enjoying this season, see what happens, and if it pays off, it pays off. I mean, shout out to FPL Raptor, Ross, great guy. He takes big hits. They paid off. But I mean, he's taken -12 in the past. But I'm going to go for this. Probably Mopé hat trick versus Norwich. Who knows? Well, hey. But yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on now. And do you want to? Should we go? Who's the one? Is it Josh?
Yeah, I can bring
Josh
my
next.
team up.
Go Josh
Give
next.
me 2 seconds.
Always.
Ben, can you bring my team up? It's not letting me. Is that all right?
How you doing, Chris?
Technical difficulties.
Just play some fancy elevator music or something like. Just like.
Hopefully, it's worth the wait.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'll bring up his team from last week. That's all right, and then Josh can sort of talk through.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
That'll be fine.
Cool.
Yeah, it should be up.
Here we go. Talk to your team, mate.
Yeah, so last week was a free hit for me. So, yeah, 81 points. I think it was, with hits, it was top 1K ranking in the world or something stupid like that. It was a mental week, really, obviously, which is expected because there was a lot of blanks. Son, Kane, that double up, Saka, Maddison, Barnes, they're the big boys. Obviously, Kane and Son popped off. If he had either of those, you were going to look decent last week. For this week, though, it's obviously reverts back to normal. So currently in a 5-4-1, nice and defensive this week. Sanchez at home to Norwich. Brighton been one of the worst defensive teams, but it's either him or Ramsdale. From what Arteta said today, I don't see Ramsdale playing, but Glen could probably fill us in on that a little bit later. Robbo and Trent, I've got at back. Obviously, hoping Trent plays. If he doesn't, I've got the bench to supplement that. But I think Robbo's been one of the most underrated assets second half of the season. I don't think he's blanked in his last 10 games that he's played. So he's absolutely unreal. Had him for quite a while now, and he's doing bits. Thiago Silva's my Chelsea man. I went for him instead of Rudiger. I couldn't quite afford James / I didn't really want to risk it in that game week. He hauled against Burnley. So Thiago Silva's there. Obviously, there is a doubt with him in terms of rotation because he seems to get favoured in Champions League. We've got Cancelo and Doherty as well to round up the defence. I think those two are pretty much in everyone's teams at the minute. So moving into midfield, we've got Cornet, double game week. I've had him since Burnley's double last time. So he's just chilling in there, looking for another. He hasn't actually got a return, I think, in the last 10 game weeks. So he's probably one of the worst picks in the team. Saka, Salah captain, Kulusevski, Kane rounds it off. And then on the bench, we've got Brozier, Willock and Dennis. So the bench all play, which is good around this time of the season. I think we're going to see a lot of rotation with some of the big teams getting into Europe and stuff. I think my rank at the minute is 22K in the world. So it's looking good. Unlike Penguin, I'm trying to aim as high as I can. Top 10K would be ideal. I haven't been lower than top 60K all season. So if I fall out of there, I'll be quite gutted towards the end of it.
Yeah, just look at your team. Yeah, it's a lovely team. You got both Maddison and Barnes in there. I know the whole debate last game week, the whole Maddison versus Barnes, and everybody was wondering who to bring in. And it just shows Maddison. Barnes is still a good pick, but Maddison seems to be the one at the moment getting a lot of the returns, getting shots on goals. Well, same as Barnes, but yeah, you've got both those guys in. You're going into a double in 33. I don't know what you said. What your plan is for double game week 33? Are you looking at any more players? Any players you want to add to that squad, like for double game week 33?
Yeah, so in my actual team, I don't have any of the Leicester lads, so I'll probably look to bring in Maddison. I think Maddison, for me, when he's fit and playing, is a better asset than Barnes, so he'll be my choice if I had to go for one. Probably instead of Kulusevski, get off the Spurs triple up that I'm on at the minute. At the minute, I'm not making any transfers this week. I've thought about Havertz like yourself, but I don't know. Like Glenn said, I think like he's highly prone to rotation. Although Lukaku's not really featured too much, I think now we're getting into the thick of it with Chelsea in the Champions League as well. They've got nothing really to play for in the Premier League, so I could see maybe Lukaku playing those games and Havertz playing in the Champions League. But we will wait and see. Obviously, still a couple of days left till the deadline. Some transfers might happen.
Got any questions for Josh's team, guys? Anybody? Nope. Nobody. All good. We're all good.
Look, silence is good. That is. There's no complaints, at least.
He's ranked 22k. I have nothing to say to him.
Sounds like looks like we're good to move on then. Should we go to Ben? Should we go to Ben next?
Let's go for it. I'll bring my team up quickly. So I was in a similar position to Josh probably about 3 or 4 game weeks ago where I was sat at 20k, and the last few weeks have just not been good for me. There's been a couple of transfers that I've made that haven't worked in my favour. Chip strategy, I didn't use any chips over the last 4 game weeks. I'm now at 80k in the world, which, considering where I was, I'm pretty disappointed with that at the moment. But my plan is for game week 33 is to free hit. And then basically go into a wild card game week 35 into a game week 36 bench boost. That's the plan. It obviously could change with FPL, but as it currently stands, my starting lineup is this: Guaita in goal. Hopefully he gets a couple of save points and let Saka score at least. That's probably what I'm hoping for. I've had the sort of season with this keeper where if I bench him, he'll get a 10-point haul. If I start him, he gets 1 point and comes off injured. Like it's just been one of those seasons with my keepers. I don't think I've had a single good keeper choice this season, but it is what it is. Chelsea coverage in the back line. Trent hopefully plays. I personally doubt it, but we'll see. Dawson, he's got a couple of nice fixtures coming up, and has honestly been one of the better assets of West Ham this season. He's been great, getting sort of headers left, right, and centre. Cancelo, Kulu, Saka, all great assets. Barnes was in there for last week. Salah captain, because I'm not crazy, unlike Penguin. And Kane and currently Watkins up front. I've got Jimenez on the bench. My dilemma is whether I transfer out Jimenez and who to transfer in. I'm thinking at the moment between Weghorst, which is highly likely, and then some outside rogue picks of maybe someone like Antonio or Richarlison. But I'm thinking only one free transfer to use this week on that striker spot, and see where we go from there and try and sort of prepare that free hit for 33.
Yeah, you all set up nicely, Ben. You got a nice team. It's all about if Trent starts, but I don't know who's on your bench. Who's on your bench?
So we've currently got Ramsey, Kilman, and Jimenez. So it could obviously be Weghorst coming in, maybe dropping Watkins or Barnes onto the bench. But I'm really undecided on what to do. So any help is much appreciated, guys.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions, or are we all silent?
I've considered getting Weghorst in myself, purely down to the fact there's no other great strikers, really.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at that transfer as well for Jimenez. But, I'll probably do it as well.
Ben, you still got bench boost left?
Yes, I'm gonna wildcard 35 into a bench boost in game week 36.
I'm just thinking if just get some cheap striker so you can just maximise elsewhere in your starting 11 if you don't want to start them every week. I don't know what Weghorst fixtures are like after this double, even though the double's not exactly great anyway, is it?
Yeah. It's just my thoughts are I want to sort of bring in transfers that will get me points for the next 2 game weeks before I free hit and then wildcards, because I'm sort of like almost like going into a period where I'm just going to completely change my team. So I'm kind of thinking along the lines of it's probably not worth downgrading to someone like Gelhardt if he's only going to be in there for like a week.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you
Antonio then? He's got 2 nice fixtures.
Yeah, it's one that I'm definitely considering. Yeah, I'm just so undecided.
But would you not be like consider someone like, I don't know, bear with me, I know it's a Watford player, Cucho, because he's been doing well. Just looking at his stats here, he got 12 points against Southampton in game week 29, 11 points against Arsenal in game week 28. He's doing better than Dennis by the looks of it at the moment. He's got Liverpool next, obviously. Then he's got Leeds and Brentford at home in 32 and 33, and he's 5 million. Maybe somebody like that. I know it's just one of those budget forwards.
It's a consideration, but obviously I want to maximise the next two. So if he's got Liverpool away, I'm kind of like I'm not sure. But yeah, it's one to consider, but it's just whether sort of Hodgson Ball is kind of a bit defensive in it.
We've got any more questions, guys? Jordan, Glen,
Yep. Game week 33, obviously Aston Villa and Wolves don't play. So I'm guessing you're just going to transfer out the Wolves and Aston Villa players, or are you trying to like take hits before game week 33?
I'm going to free hit in 33. So it sort of completely eliminates the Wolves and Villa players, and I want to maximise on sort of where I've lost points over the sort of last few weeks. I think free hit 33 is probably the last chance I'm going to have to properly use it and feel like I've made gains on it. That's my thoughts anyway.
Cool. Any more questions, guys, for Ben's team, or should we move on to? Yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on to we'll move on to FPLLAD. I know you sent me your team, so we'll bring that up on the screen. Just give me a few minutes. Some music.
Chocolate game week 30.
Let's get up on the screen. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. First, second. Well, look at this one here. Right, bring this one up. Right, here we go. I'll try and work my magic. Try and navigate around this. Here we go. Right, so this is how you got on in the last game week, John. Talk us through what happened.
Absolutely shocking. The old differential captaincy. Absolutely, what a fail. I think if I captained Son, it might have been an average game week, but triple Wolves was nice. Netted me -1 from those three. Lovely. And then just everyone else did nothing really. So straight up. This is like the dregs from my game week 26 wildcard, which went quite nicely really. I went from like 220k up to 100k, and then last week back to 175. So only I captained Son, but the plan was to set up for so I didn't have to use I've still got my second free hit. So the plan was to save that for 33 or 36, just to see how my team was at the time, kind of thing. Probably need to do a bit of planning around that, but whatever. Triple Wolves didn't work out. So yeah, this is this week. I mean, it's not great, is it? I might have to do like a -8 or something. It's all. I'm stuck between. Do I just roll with it? Because sometimes just sticking with it, it's not actually that bad. Like it's not as bad as you think, or just like take a -8. I don't know, because I've got 3 million in the bank, so I can do like Coutinho to Bruno, or if I took a hit, I could get in De Bruyne, which I think both of them are quite nice differentials. Like I think KDB's got 7% ownership overall, which is just mental considering how good he is. I think all City assets really, other than Cancelo, are so lowly owned that if you're rank chasing, they're the boys to get. Considering we've got like a close title this season, I think both Liverpool and City are going to play full strength every game. I know they've got Champions League as well, but it's what it is, isn't it? They can't afford to drop points in the league. So I've got the standard double Liverpool. I was looking at Luis Diaz, might get him in for Son maybe. Rotation's an issue. But yeah, I fancy like a triple up on City and just throwing a Hail Mary at it and see what happens. No idea who's going to win. But I've already played my bench boost as well, because when I did my 26 wildcard, I bench boosted in 27, I think. straight after. So literally, I'm just going to get like dregs on the bench, so I can maximise and get all the funds on the pitch. So I think I'm going to do like Lacazette to like Mateta or something like that. Get another 3 mil. I wouldn't say anyone else to get Mateta, but I watch him week in, week out, so I might as well add to my pain.
Yeah, you do need to look to probably get a City defender in, at least one, especially with their running, because their running for till the end of the seasons, in my opinion, looks more easier than Liverpool's.
Yeah, 2 seasons back, I had triple City defence, and they went 9 clean sheets in a row. My rank just went through it was flying up. Whether I can
show us your ways. Show us your ways, legend. Show us your ways.
What's that?
Show us your ways, legend. Triple City defense, 9 clean sheets in a row. Show us your ways.
I know, right? It worked out well that season. It worked out all right, but yeah, all good.
Yeah, but it's a nice team, lad. John, it's a really nice team. You probably might be looking at players getting rid of Ramsey soon, maybe Kulu.
I think I'm just going to keep Ramsey just because he's so cheap. Like if I spent an extra 3 million, if I spent my 3 million to upgrade Ramsey, I would only get like Maddison or something. Like if I upgraded Coutinho though instead, I can get Bruno or whatever. Obviously taking a hit to take someone else out as well, but I just think Ramsey's fine there. Just because he's so cheap, it enables like bigger players elsewhere. Yeah, I need to drop Jimenez as well. So I'm just going to go with like 3 strikers at like 5.5 mil, and then just have like a ridiculous midfield and defence. Because we've said that the whole time. Other than Kane, there's no striker. They're all kind of just performing the same. So you might as well have a 5. Like Lacazette's like trickles points in, but I'd rather have Mateta at 5.2 than Lacazette at 8.3. So yeah.
Have we got any questions, guys, for John's team? Jordan?
I have a question. You mentioned you wanted to triple up on Man City players. My question is, which Man City players would you consider picking for your team?
Cancelo and KDB are a lock. And then, I don't know why, but I go around to Mahrez every now and again. I've had him in my team a few times this season. He's on pens as well, which is quite nice. And he's quite selfish. He's got a bit of Salah selfishness in him, isn't he? He always cuts in and shoots. I think he's quite cheap, like 8.5. That's so cheap. The only problem is minutes, but whatever. It's the risk you take of any City player, isn't it? The other thing is obviously just go defender. Laporte looks pretty nailed now with Diaz out as well. I think he's like 5.8, so pretty cheap. Gets the odd header. So there'd probably be Laporte or Mahrez would be the other one. Just depends on what funds I got on. That's it, really.
Any more questions, or are we good to move on? We good?
Yep.
I just love how it goes to this silent treatment. Yep, just move on. Let's move on, lads. Yeah, just move on. Right, we'll move on to Huss. Do you want to show a team, or do you want to send it to me, or
shall I bring my team up?
Yeah.
2 seconds.
No worries.
Yeah, get my screen off quick. Yeah, get my team off. get it out. Get it out of the way.
Whoa.
It's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. Right, there we go. Here's your teammate.
That's the team. So yeah, I've got a couple injury doubts with my team. So James is flagged. Trent's also flagged in the defense. I'm hoping James is fit for that game against Brentford. He should be fine. I think there was pictures of him in training or something like that. Trent is a doubt. I don't think he'll play. So I've got Doherty on the bench to come on if he doesn't play. Robertson against Watford is fine. I think it's a good fixture for him. We've got Sarr in goal as well. Does anyone know if Ramsdale's back, by the way? He's still flagged, isn't he?
Yeah, he wants to play.
Yeah.
He's not getting a clean sheet anyway, so I won't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Go on, mate.
Well, yeah. So, and then in the midfield, I've got Rafinha against Southampton. I've got Saka. Salah's going to be my captain. Martinelli against Palace, and then Kulusevski as well. And then I've got Kane up front. with Broja, but that's just temporarily. I do have 2 free transfers, and I'm planning on doing Jimenez out for Weghorst, and I'll probably just do the 1 transfer, as I don't know where else to bring in for my team unless anyone's got any suggestions what they will do, because I do have 2 free transfers. I was thinking Cancelo, but my worry is taking Trent out. I'd probably want him back soon anyway, so I don't really want to take Trent out because I think he's a hold for me for the rest of the season. James as well. So yeah, but yeah, Cancelo's the only one I feel like I want to get in my team soon. It's just how I fit him in.
How much money in the bank do you have, mate?
Actually, not much, I don't think. Let me see. I'm not sure. Oh, none. 0.
No.
Yeah. None, yeah. So it's fully maxed out all on the pitch. So
I was going to just throw out Kilman maybe to Cancelo, but probably
yeah,
not.
nah, can't do it.
With the 2 transfers, you can just downgrade Jimenez to get the funds.
Yeah.
Get like
Then just do Kilman to Cancelo, and then you can just get like some dud, like Cucho, Mateta, whatever. You ain't got to play them, have you? You can just go 4-5-1 then for the rest of the season. You got Doherty there as well if you want 5-4-1, fixture dependent.
Yeah, I think Jimenez definitely is going out my team, and then I think in a week or 2 I can also get rid of Rafinha for someone like Barnes as well, maybe. So yeah, that's my thoughts currently. So just a 1 transfer for me. It's quite a boring one, I think. Weghorst. But yeah, there's not many great strikers, as we've mentioned, other than Kane. So yeah, that's the team. Salah captain as well. Yeah,
I'm definitely going to captain Salah now after this. I'm making a huge mistake. But yeah, it's a nice team. Any more questions for Huss's team? Anybody?
If you're saying you're just going to do Jimenez to Weghorst, so you're rolling the other transfer again?
Yeah, I'll probably roll again, have 2 free transfers for 32.
Fair enough. Why don't get Cancelo in 33 after the Liverpool game?
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do, because I think I can get away without. Oh, Cancelo's got Burnley, which is probably going to be a clean sheet for him. But I like my defense. So I don't mind Doherty against Newcastle if he does come in for Trent, and James is a good pick, and then Robertson as well. So I'll probably leave it at least another week before I decide what to do with Cancelo.
Yeah, but make sure you got your bench order right then.
Oh yeah.
Which I know.
Definitely.
Start with Gilman coming up.
Yeah, I have to get that fixed up.
How long have you had Broja? It's really frustrated me for the last 3 game weeks.
Well, Broja,
Yeah.
I've had him for a while, to be honest. I think I got him in on my wildcard 26, and he's not really done anything for me. So yeah, it's been a frustrating hold as well. But he's been on the bench for me most weeks anyway. But yeah, he's just an enabler, I guess, for my team, where I could just have him on the bench most weeks, just a cheap forward. But yeah, there's not many other strikers really. There's Calvert-Lewin, but Everton aren't playing great. Antonio, he's got decent fixtures, but he looks a bit off the boil lately. He looks a bit leggy, I feel like. So yeah, what other strikers is there really?
Cucho, Mateta, according to FPLLAD.
Yeah,
Mateta.
to be fair, I haven't really
Big up
considered
Palace.
It's literally the price tag, and that is it.
Yeah. Any more questions for Huss's team, or should we move on? Are we all good? Yeah, we'll move on to Jordan. How do you want to do this, Matt? Do you want to share it? Or?
Yeah, I'll share my screen and show my team.
And then we'll move on to Glen then. Glen's just there waiting patiently at the end, waiting for his turn. We'll get to you, mate. We'll get to you.
I'm not sure if it's because it saved the best for last, or is it because
probably best for save the best for last.
I'm not sure.
Could be a really, really class team. Right, go on, mate. Go on, Jordan. Talk us through this season and everything.
Okay, so for my goalkeeper this game week, I've got Sarr, the Wolves goalkeeper. He's got Aston Villa home. And in my defence, I have Reece James, who's got Brentford home. I've got Ben White, who's got Crystal Palace away. I've got Trent, just in case he does manage to play. I doubt he will, but play him anyway. He's got Watford home. And I've got Thiago Silva, who's got Brentford home in So that's my current defence at the moment. In my midfield, I got Martinelli, who's got Crystal Palace away, Coutinho, who's got Wolves away, and Saka, who's got Crystal Palace away, and Salah, who I've captained, who's got Watford home. And up front, I got Broha, who's got Leeds away, and Kane, who I've vice captained, who's got Newcastle home. On my bench, I have Dubraka, the Newcastle goalkeeper. He's flagged, but he's got Tottenham away, so I'm not going to play him over Sarr. I got Seiss, who's got Aston Villa home. He'll probably come on for Trent, just in case he doesn't play at all, Trent, which is most likely. And then I got Ramsey, who's got Wolves away, and obviously Jimenez, who's not playing because he's suspended. I am rolling the transfers. I rolled the transfer last game week, so I have 2 free transfers. My plan was to obviously get rid of Jimenez for Gelhardt. And the reason for that was because of the budget-wise, because I don't have much in my bank. Let me just check actually how much I have. Oh, 0. So with to transfer Jimenez out for Gelhardt, that gives me 3 million to play with. And my plan was to use my 2 free transfers, so Jimenez to Gelhardt, and then Seiss to Cancelo. So I would like to have a Man City defender coming into game week 31, which will probably carry on through the end of the season with Cancelo. I do want to have a Man City players now. I think it is the time to bring them back in. And yeah, that's my plans for game week 31 for my team.
Yeah, it's a nice team. You're in the same situation as FPLLAD, looking to try and get a City defender in. But yeah, see, you got double Chelsea defence. Look nice. They've got Brentford. Not Brentford. Is it? Yeah, Brentford next.
Yeah, Brentford,
and yeah, so it's a nice team. Yeah. Martinelli is an interesting one too. Don't know if you'll maybe upgrade him. Maybe I think you said what did you say? You got nothing in the bank. So it's gonna give you a bit of an awkward to try and find somebody unless you downgrade somebody. But yeah, anybody else got any more questions for Jordan's team? Anyone else?
I'm loving the fact that Haas has 2 Arsenal players and Jordan has 3 Arsenal players. I might have to join them and change it from FPL Duo to FPL Trio. Like if they keep on getting Arsenal players like this, I'm happy with the team. I'm not sure about. I know Martinelli will start. I don't think it's going to be easy against FPLLAD's team. I think if we're going to get a win, it's going to be like by 1 goal. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. But White is could keep a clean sheet, but then again, I think they'll score. So obviously, Arsenal do have a couple of good fixtures and double game weeks. So just Broya again, just like I asked Leon. Broya very, very frustrating asset. But I think the rest of the team looks good.
Cool.
Thank you. Anybody
else got a question?
I know you boys are the FPL Duo, but how come your teams are identical? Is that
he's got Chelsea at the back, hasn't he? He's got double Chelsea, I guess.
Chelsea, yeah.
Our teams are quite similar though. You got Coutinho as well, haven't you? I took him out like a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Because of the
I guess it's
Martinelli, the front. Yeah, there's a lot of them the same, but yeah.
There's a strong template though this year, so
yeah,
you got to take that into account. Like we were looking back sort of the last sort of 10 game weeks. The template has been really strong, so it's been like a lot of people have had similar teams, and there's only been a couple of players here or there that's provided that variance. So it's one of them seasons where everyone captains Salah, and it takes sort of somewhat of that variance away, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a bit frustrating though that Salah's captain all the time because there's not really variety in terms of that. You just have to go with the flow with that.
Because that's the thing with Salah captain. Yeah, I heard that. And I just don't want to be boring. I feel like it's boring going for Salah, but then again, the EO is going to be over the roof, and then it's just like the most sensible thing to do is to captain Salah, obviously. And I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm choosing not to bloody captain the guy. But I don't know. I think it's the early kickoff as well. I think the old myth, like, don't captain early kickoff player. But it is Mo Salah. Either Mo could turn up that day at 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday. A Mo that I still think will score, probably just get 1 goal, or a Mo that might score a hat trick, might get 2 goals and 1 assist and 3 bonus points. You just don't know, because he's been one of them players that you captain in a game against a relatively easy team, and he does mediocre. He doesn't do as well as you hope in odd games. But it is a tough one. But I think Captain Mo is the most sensible way to go about it. Obviously, definitely, especially with Liverpool and the City as well. So it's going to be interesting. So anybody else got any more questions for Jordan, or should we move on to Glen? Waiting patiently in the. We'll move on. We'll move on to Glen. Glen's already got it up here. So Glen, please talk us through your team, mate. What's happening? How's your season going? Everything. What's your strategy with chips and everything?
So I'm back to reality. Last week I played my free hit and I enjoyed owning Maddison, Son, all those players. But it's back to reality. I do have Sanchez in goal, like Josh earlier on, playing at home to Norwich. I have Trent like almost everyone else. Ben White is there just like Jordan's team. I have Cody as well. I will be looking to take him out sometime next week because Wolves don't have a game in game week 33. I think he could still do well against Villa. Cancelo is there. I know Haas is trying to get Cancelo in. He's one of the guys who's going to be there in my team until the end of the season. Now, Tarkowski is the sub I've brought in this week. He's the transfer this week. Now, I had Digne. I remember we were on the show with Ben and Josh Calvin, that was like 2 months ago, and we were debating Digne and Cash. And I decided to go for Digne instead of Cash, and that was the wrong choice. I think Cash scored like 3 goals since, and Digne has been getting injuries, missing games. And I had to take him out very early because I expected him to drop in price. And I didn't have enough money to go to James or Rudiger. That was my plan. So I decided to go to Tarkowski. Maybe I should have waited and went for Thiago Silva, maybe, but I've never really owned Thiago Silva. I don't feel safe owning him. Maybe that should have been the option. But I'm hoping Tarkowski can do something against Everton and maybe, I don't know, a set piece against City, just something. It's hard to score against City, but Burnley, when it comes to set piece, you just never know. I'm being hopeful like Calvin here. Salah captain, unlike some people. Saka playing away to Crystal Palace, as I said, it's not going to be easy. Bernardo Silva, I've owned him for like 10 game weeks. He performs 1 week and then goes silent for 2 weeks. He misses chances, but I'm happy to own him because he usually starts most of the times. I have Kane up front. Celebrating Tottenham goals. It's not what I like doing, but that's what I've been doing the last 4 weeks, celebrating Tottenham goals. I still have Watkins. At least he did score against Brighton, I think 2 weeks ago. I have Breuer on the bench. I have Ramsey on the bench. And Boemo was the last sub as well. I had brought in Boemo when he was playing Norwich, and I didn't have anyone else to bring that week. And he also had a game in game week 30. So that's why I brought him in. And that's how my team is looking like. I'll be captaining Salah. My transfer is made. And it's a bit of trouble because I don't have any chips left. So I have to really be strategic until game week 38.
Any questions for Glen on his team? Anyone want to jump in?
I was going to ask why no Chelsea assets? Why no Chelsea defensive assets in there?
Yeah, that was the plan. Now it was either I only had one transfer, so I was thinking, as I said, to take out Digne for Rudiger and James, but I didn't have enough money. That's why I said I think that could be a mistake. Maybe I should have waited and taken off Digne this week for Thiago Silva. But yeah, I will definitely be watching that behind the sofa. I'm hoping Brentford can get something, because if they don't, it's going to be a bit of trouble as well, because I do expect Chelsea to run riot in that game. So that's the only reason, Ben. That's the only reason. Not a good reason. If I was to relive again, I would probably have Thiago Silva instead of Tarkowski.
Every time I look at Saka, I always think of Glen telling me every single time. Yeah, he knows. Every single time, Saka's going to get more points than so and so. Saka this, and he does. So it's, I'm somebody who doesn't own Saka. I know, Glen. You don't have to wave your mouse up. But yeah, it's a nice team. Any more questions? Want to jump in for Glen before we move things? No, we're good.
I'm seeing a lot of 5 at the back. I think everyone's.
I've got something to talk about.
I think maybe Jordan's got 4 at the back. There's a few 5 at the backs going on. There was only 1 clean sheet last week, I think.
From the best team in the league, right?
Only
Arsenal kept
was it Arsenal? There you go. That's why I don't remember it, because Ramsdale was out. I didn't see many didn't see many clean sheet points going on. But so yeah, interesting five at the back. Like historically, midfield is always the way to bump up your points. They always score the most points. But yeah, there's loads of like 5-3-2s and 5-4-1s.
Yeah, I don't think Trent will start. I don't think Trent will play, so it might end up being a 4-3-3. I might have to play Broy instead.
That's if he plays. I've got Broyer as well, and I'm worried he won't play because he didn't start the last match because he's been out of form. So they just dropped him. He wasn't even injured. So I'm worried he's not going to play. But it is what it is, isn't it? Right, yeah. I think other than like Liverpool and City, I think clean sheets are like few and far between. So
yeah. Right, we'll move on. I just want to add as well, because I don't think I mentioned it earlier for my team. Thank you, Glenn, for your team. With my team, quickly, I forgot to say I was going to probably look to bench boost in double game week 33. So I'm looking to probably bring in Saka and Fraser and stuff to my team.
Saka ages ago.
And I know that, but you make me feel bad about it now, mate. Jeez.
I haven't got him either.
No, but no. So that's the way I'm going. I want to, but yeah, I'm gonna probably just do it now, just awkwardly. Yeah, Captain Mo Salah. There you go. But yeah, that's the first part of the video. That's what I'm planning to do. That's what everyone's watching now. What everyone else is looking to do as well, I guess. Just to finish it off in the last 5 minutes, I just want to get the last bit on now. I'm going to be talking about as well. Where is it? It's going to find it. It's big at the back. We're going to be talking about just quickly, and then we'll probably wrap things up. Let's get the screen and this little lovely little diagram here. This from Adriana. It's been going around actually. It's a lovely that she's made, a lovely fixture ticker. But a few other fellow FPL community content creators, should we say, in the community, have been using this on the streams as well. Very, very good, very, very clear. I'll just make it a tiny bit more bigger, and it's just want to talk about as well the whole, big at the back situation. I know we've probably cut off Burnley and Norwich at the bottom with our faces, but we don't really need to talk about them, do we? Because not players we're going to probably bring in, unless we want to bring in Weghurst. But yeah, I just want to talk about big at the back. We were just FPLLAD. John was just talking a bit about it there near the end. City and Liverpool. Maybe go for double City. Maybe a local defender. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, guys. Of maybe a double when Trent is back. Maybe going for double City defense and double local defense, like Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, maybe Laporte or Diaz. Maybe until the end of the season. Obviously, in game week 32, we know they're playing each other. So probably if we're hoping for a 0-0, which is very, very unlikely. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are after the City Liverpool fixture. Do you think maybe going for a double City, double Liverpool defence, big at the back, 5-man defence maybe, who are the fifth defenders going to be? Do you think, what's your thoughts on that, guys? We'll go with Huss. What's your thoughts on big at the back until the end of the season?
I think that's something that I'm definitely looking to do for my own team as well. I think Chelsea is another team that we should look at their defenders to bring in, because they've also got really good fixtures, I believe, till the end of the season. So yeah, I think big at the back could be the way. Maybe getting in a Reece James, Trent, maybe a Robertson, Cancelo, and also maybe like a Laporte or someone like that. But it's obviously if you could fit it in with your money, because I can't get Cancelo in right now. But yeah, I think big at the back is the way, because the strikers right now there's not really a standout pick. So maybe have 4 or 5 at the back, and then have one striker, which is Harry Kane up front. So yeah, I do like that strategy. I think that could become a bit of a template in the coming weeks, especially with Man City have a lot of green fixtures. So do Chelsea, I believe, and Liverpool. Obviously, we know Trent and Robertson's potential for points is very high. So yeah, I think it's something that I'm probably going to look to do myself for my own team.
We just get Ben's thoughts as well. What's your thoughts on the whole big at the back and what me and Huss have just been talking about? Or any fixtures in particular that, from teams looking at the diagram there, if we're not talking about defenders or anyone that you've not got in your team already, that players that you want to bring in. So what do you think, mate?
I'm thinking it's not just big at the back that we've got to be looking at. We've got to be looking at players in a whole FPL team that still have something to play for. And I think you've got to sort of go away from teams that are sort of sat middle of the table who may just end up going sort of on an early holiday, so to speak. An example that I'll give you already, over the last sort of 5 game weeks, Brighton in some defensive metrics have produced like the 3rd worst defensive stats in the league in some aspects. So it just goes to show, like, teams that are going to be sitting around that league position will start falling off. So it's worth having some of the guys at the top who are still fighting for the title. So from the Liverpool, Man City, some from Arsenal or United because they're challenging for the top 4. And then maybe even looking at some teams down lower in the league that have a couple of good fixtures that you think, look, they're going to be fighting to try and survive relegation. It might be worth bringing one of those players in. So I think you just have to pay attention to that league table as well when you're looking to sort of make your transfers going into sort of the last, sort of, was it now 9-10 game weeks of the season.
Well, what we'll do, we'll switch it up a bit as well. We've got a question here from Colm. We'll pass this to FPLLAD. Is there one differential player that you are looking at for the remaining game weeks? John, are you looking at differential players for the remaining game weeks?
The player I was going to mention, with regards to big at the back, I suppose he's going to be a differential, is Joel Matip. Okay. I was just looking up his form there, and in the last 6 matches, he's only blanked once, and he's got 3 double-digit hauls in 6. So everyone's going Trent and Robbo, but you can kind of save yourself 2 mil, 2.5 mil, and get Matip. He's nailed. He's 4% owned. So you look at the fixtures. He's going to play every match. They're going to keep. How many games have they got left? Like 8 or something like that.
Something like that, I think.
8 or 9, whatever it is. So you're probably thinking 6 or 7 clean sheets at least, probably. Yeah. There are some big games in there. I mean, they got City's obviously the big game. United's a derby. Everton's a derby. But I just think in these sorts of games, Liverpool are going to grind it out. They need to win for the title. I think we're going to have another end of the season like we did a couple of years back when City won it on goal difference, was it, I think? When both teams just won like 14 games in a row. I just think that's going to happen again. I think City will win it just because they won't lose. Basically, I mean, they've already got the points on the board, and that's why they win the title. In answer to the question, Joel Matip, just great price. He's going to keep. I mean, there might not be too many explosive returns because he's a defender, but he's going to trickle in the points nice. It's better than any other 5 mil defender in the game, that's for sure.
Well, ask.
I actually have one, Carl.
Go on, Glen.
So, obviously, Ben has just pointed out it's time to target the teams that have something to play for. I was just about to say that as well. So the likes of maybe, I don't know, Aston Villa, the likes of Chelsea might not have too much to play for. And also has pointed out early on that there's not too many strikers to bring on. Now, I think Everton, I know, Carl, you're not the biggest fan of Everton, but I don't think they'll get relegated, and they have to start winning games and they have to start scoring goals. Yes, they do have tough games away to Liverpool. They have Chelsea, they have Arsenal, but they still have games at home to Crystal Palace, at home to Leicester. They have Burnley, they have Watford. And I think it's time to get Calvert-Lewin back into the team. I think Lampard has to do it, and he's only owned by 3%. So they'll need goals. They have some really good fixtures. Okay, half of the fixtures are good. And I know, like, some of the fixtures are hard, but for example, like last season, they did win away at Liverpool. They got a draw against Chelsea this season early on. So I don't think it's totally like out of their hand. I mean, they could turn out to be the Everton we know that can give the big team some games. So I would say Calvert-Lewin, 3% owned. I think he will be back into Lampard's thoughts between now and the end of the season for them to survive. So I think that is the strike I might have to go for the last 6 game weeks, for example.
On the subject of Everton and things to play for, I was at the quarter-final match and we absolutely smashed them 4-0. They are dreadful, man. Lampard's just not... He just hasn't got the tactical nous at this level as a manager.
I won't be going near any Everton player. I don't like it, but they just look so bad. I'm sure it was Jamie Carragher called them the championship team.
They will be next.
That's what it's going to be.
Lampard got sacked, and then they've just got to start all over.
But even in that game, John, Everton did play very well in the first 20 minutes. They had a lot of chances in that game against Everton.
They started fast, and then they missed a couple of chances, and then we smashed them. We just contained them.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's because they didn't really want to concentrate on the FA Cup.
We missed chances as well. It was 4. It could have been 7. Like Liverpool beat us 7-0 at Selhurst a couple of seasons back. I was there. You just scored every shot. Just went in. We could have done the same to Everton.
Even Matip could have scored.
Yeah. He did score.
Oh, he did.
He did, yeah.
That's where you want him. He's a differential.
Yeah, he is. Right. What's our fixtures? I don't even know.
Right, we'll get Jordan now, and then we'll wrap things up. Jordan, what about you? Big at the back, and also differential player. You're eyeing up for the last few fixtures.
For a differential player, I have been looking at a Man City midfielder who could be a rotation risk, but I think he's also a good one to have, and that's Phil Foden. He is just over 5% owned at the moment. His ownership was high previously. It was, I think, 12%, but because he hasn't really played many games and been rotated, he has only played a few minutes in Man City's games. I do feel like he's going to be played more in the last fixtures that Man City have coming up, and also because of how many home fixtures Man City do have in the remaining matches as well. It looks very good on paper. Obviously, if Phil Foden does play, and I do think he'll have a very vital role in the team if he does manage to play in the team if Pep decides to, because we know how well he does play, and he does score goals when he does play the full 90 minutes in teams. So yeah, as a differential, I would consider Phil Foden.
And you're a big fan, maybe big at the back as well. Maybe looking at the whole Liverpool City defense.
Yeah, I do agree. Having a either double Liverpool or double Man City or double Chelsea defense as well. I do think that's going to be very important, and it's going to be very beneficial to have in the last matches that we have in the season.
Cool. Right. We'll wrap things up there then, guys. I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank my guests most importantly, especially FPLLAD John, Pulse and Jordan from FPL Duo, making their debuts on here. Absolutely class to have them on as well. But just from I put all the links in the description below, so just click on them, give them a follow, subscribe to them. FPLLAD John, where can we find you, mate?
Mainly on, if you actually want to see FPL stuff, on Instagram, FPLLAD. Or if we just want random comments on people's posts, then on Twitter, FPLLAD1.
All right, Ben, where can we find you and Josh?
So it's on FPL Graduates on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of them.
Yeah, I've got myself into the TikTok thing now. FPL TikTok.
It's a great place. It's a great place.
Glen, where can we find you, mate?
Everything Arsenal for Arsenal content, and everything football for fantasy content.
You can also find where he's going to shove Saka down your throat, say Saka in, Saka.
You can also find us in the top 4.
It's going to happen. But yeah, Jordan hosts another one, both making their debuts. Thank you so much. Where can we find you guys?
You can find us on, obviously, YouTube with the FPL Duo on YouTube. So, yeah, subscribe to us. And also, we're on Twitter, the FPL Duo as well on that. But yeah, that's it, pretty much, YouTube and Twitter at the moment.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that's watched. And see you guys next time. And good luck for this game week 2. Bye-bye.
Cheers.